Hey everyone, it's Lisa. Today I have a really fun project for you. And for this project you will need to pull out your stamps, different ones depending on the size of your project, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. I used a lot of these on the items that I'm going to show you in a moment. I also used a wheel, and this was the shop around wheel, and you will need to put out your punches or your framelit die, some type of die, any die that will, or anything that will cut shrink plastic. And let me tell you, this is so much fun. And your inks. So for my projects, the projects that I did today, I did some before today, and I'll show you those. I just used all of our newest in colors. They are so wonderful. Look how pretty they look together. And my markers. So, to recap, you're going to need stamps, ink pads, framelits, punches. I will say that punching out the shrink plastic with this, I did need to put I had to use both hands and press hard. The Stampin Up punches, the new ones, this design, they can handle that. I don't know about other punches, so. And then, let's see. So this was my first project that I did, and this is a collage. And on this project, let me see, let me zoom in. This was a lot of fun. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. It'll be a cute embellishment on something. I think it's a bit large to be a charm, but that's the fun thing. You can make your own embellishments. You can make charms for bracelets or make necklaces. So on this, I'm going to show you something as soon as I find the right stamp set. So I used the papaya collage and 1 and 2, and I also used, ooh, I'm still zoomed in too close, sorry about that. Let's go out. I also used fabulous phrases. So what I want to show you with this project, this frame, I want to show you the size of this frame compared to the finished project or the finished object. So I stamped my frame, and then I stamped, my other images within the frame that I wanted in there, and then I hand cut this, so you can see big difference when it shrinks down. So that's so much fun. Let me move that out of the way. And then the other things I wanted to show you, I also did some items using 3 of the hearts from our Framelit Hearts collection, and these are the sizes that I used. Now you can use any size, just really just play around with it and you'll figure out what size works best for, whether you're trying to get a charm or you want just an embellishment for a scrapbook page or a card or whatever, and they are light. So let me show you my hearts. This tiny little heart, it's about, I measured it at about 1/4 by 1/2 inch, and that started like this. And then my other 2 hearts, I actually made projects with them. And here are my 2 projects that I made with the other heart. So this heart here is actually my favorite, and I'm going to zoom in on her really quick because this is the heart I made using Midnight Muse ink and the Shop Around wheel. And what I did is I did my inking and rolling first, and then placed my heart where on the vellum I wanted, what part I wanted cut out, and she just came out really, really cute, I think, anyway. And it made the perfect charm size. So can you see that? That is just so cute. And then I just used some seed beads and some wire and clasp to finish that off. And then this one, I have a new love. I've discovered loom knitting, and it's just so much fun. So I have a small one that I can make bracelets with. So that's what I did here. And before I zoom out, I am going to show you this heart. Oops. And so that heart was made using our Clockworks, which you can't see because I'm too close. It also used a papaya collage. It used the rose. I am going to zoom out here in a minute. And a couple of our pearls. And I also just inked around the edges a bit with, I believe it was gumball green. So let me zoom out again. And then the button here, oops, my little pearl came off. This is one of our faceted vintage buttons. I love, love, love these buttons. Let me put my large pearl back in the center here. I'm going to glue that down, hot glue it, or use some liquid mono adhesive to secure that better, because I'm going to be actually wearing this, so I wouldn't want that to come off. So here's the size of the heart that came from. So it gives you an idea of, how much shrinkage there is. And then I cut off, after I rolled out my Shop Around wheel, there was another part, so I went ahead and cut that out and shrunk it. And you want to be really careful because our inks are water-based, so they tend to smear. So I try as best I can not to touch the ink, or I let it dry for a little while, and I'm still very careful. But one thing that I discovered is this shrink art is very forgiving. I can't even see some of the areas where I actually accidentally rubbed off a little bit of the ink. In fact, I actually did it on this frame, and it came out beautiful. But I would still be careful. Okay, so my other item that I made, which was really fun, I used the Apothecary framelit set, and I used this because I thought it would make a really cute pendant or charm. And this one came out a little wonky, I don't know why, but I'll use it on something anyway. And then of course our en français background stamp set, and oh my gosh, this is off topic, but I am loving that we have these new cases for our wood mount sets. So I put my background stamp set in a wood mount case. Awesome. Okay, so I think I've shown you all that. So now I'm going to show you a quick little project using the shrink plastic, like how to go about shrinking it. I used the Mixed Bunch stamp set, and I stamped it in this beautiful coastal, actually I used the ink, not the marker, Coastal Cabana, and I just set it aside while I worked on some other things. Now, some people use ovens. I like to use my heat tool. I feel like I have a little more control. When I first used shrink art way back when it was really popular, I'm going to say like the 90s, my kids were little, I found that I don't know, projects didn't come out as nice, and maybe it's because I messed with them too much or got scared when they would curl up, and it is very scary to watch shrink art curl up. So I like to put mine in a pie pan, and I use my silicone mat from Stampin' Up. Love it, love it, love it. And that's just because it's protecting everything from heat. And then I lay my item in there. Hopefully that was dry. You know what? I picked that up without paying attention. Oh, and it looks like I may have touched some of it, but we'll see how that comes out. And this was very light, if you can tell. I don't know if you could tell how light the color was. But just know that when you heat up your shrink art, the color is going to become more vibrant. So heat that up real quick. I like to have my tweezers ready just to hold on to that so it doesn't go too far away. And I'm just going to move that around. And you see it likes to, ooh, it loves to move around a lot. Look at how scary that is. That looks awful. And then it begins to flatten out. And usually what I do, oh, it's flattening out pretty good there. I like to flip it over real quick and flatten it out that way. Just that quick. And there you are. And be very careful. It's still pretty warm, but I like to kind of smash it while it's warm. This would be a good time if you wanted it to curl up a bit, to you know, to curl it up. Now, and I forgot to mention, make sure if you plan on using these for jewelry that you put your hole in the plastics before you heat it. I used my Stampin' Up hole punch, and I used the 1/8 size, the smaller hole. You can use the larger hole if you want to. As you can see, this hole is really tiny, and yeah, I did touch my ink. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. So just be very careful. I try to hold the edges of my project, like when I cut this one out, you know, I held on to the part of the plastic that the image wasn't on, and then I held the edge as best I could. So again, there's our little mixed bunch flower, and it's a cute little charm. I love that color. Isn't that beautiful? So just pull out your inks and your stamps and your shrink plastic, your dies that will cut shrink plastic, and if you have a strong enough punch that'll cut it, go for it. Just have a ball, and I hope you'll share your projects and any ideas that you have. I had so much fun playing around with the shrink art and all my Stampin' Up stamps and inks, and I'm planning on doing a whole lot more because I will be making more of these bracelets, and I just think especially this size here makes a perfect little charm. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and I look forward to being with you again. Thanks for watching.